Geometry. I can see you. How are you doing? Ha, good one. Hey, this is the video for assignment A9, and today we're dealing with 30, 60, 90 special right triangles, and we want to find out how the side lengths relate in 30, 60, 90 triangles. We know that if you have two 30, 60, 90 triangles, they have the same shape, though they may not have the same size. Remember that we can scale them and their corresponding side lengths will remain proportional. So if I want to find how this short side compares to the hypotenuse and how the short side compares to the long side, I can pick any number here to kind of figure this out, and I will choose 1. 1's a nice thing to deal with. And they have a clever trick here. They're going to take a copy of this and reflect it down like this. And lo and behold, since this is a copy of this, this is 1, and you see that you have what kind of triangle? Yeah, but more. Yeah, equilateral triangle, good. So this side has to be 2, and this side has to be 2. And that's kind of what I needed to. So I use an extra copy to make a special right or an equilateral triangle, and then I know that this side has to be 2. Every angle is 60 degrees. I'm going to get rid of this guy now, and I'm going to make this x, and I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So the sum of the squares of the lengths of the legs is equal to the sum of the square of the length of the hypotenuse. And therefore we have x squared plus 1 is equal to 4, which means that x squared is equal to 3, which means the square root of each side gives x is equal to the square root of 3. I'm going to put that there. So that's it. That is how side lengths relate them to themselves in a special right triangle. You can say this: for a 30, 60, 90 right triangle, the hypotenuse is twice the short side. The long side, if you take 1 and multiply it by square root of 3, you'll get here. So the long side is square root of 3 times the short side. Or maybe I should say leg. I will change that to leg. Hypotenuse is twice the short leg, and the long leg is square root of 3 times the short leg. Okay, that's how that works for 30, 60, 90 triangles. The words may be enough for you to solve problems like this, or they may not. We'll find out. However, I'm going to put that back there. I'm going to redraw a 30, 60, 90 triangle right next to this one. And let's see here. Right, the 60's here, the 30's here, and I'm going to label the sides on here. Remember the short leg, if the short leg's 1, then the hypotenuse is 2, and the long leg is square root of 3 times the short. So now we can just set up proportions, and for instance, we can say that x is to square root of 3 as 2 square roots of 2 is to 1. That is, x is to square roots of 3 long side to long side as the short side is to the short side. Now we can cross multiply, and we have x is equal to 2 square roots of 2 times the square root of 3, which we can write as 2 square roots of 6. Okay, and that's the length of x. Let's do the same for y. Y is to 2 as square root of 2 over 2 is to 1. 2 square roots of 2 is to 1, excuse me. So I multiply, and I have y is equal to 4 square roots of 2. And there we go. We have done it. All right, the hypotenuse is twice the short leg, and the long leg is square root of 3 times the short. Okay? If you can use the words, use the words. If you want to draw the picture, draw the picture. Whatever way you want to do. Okay, so this is the, let's see, this is the 30-degree angle, this is the 60-degree angle. So, I'm going to draw a little 30, 60, 90 triangle right next to it. I'm going to label the proportions. I know that if the short leg is 1, the hypotenuse is 2, and the long leg is square root of 3. And so, let's set it up. 7 is to square root of 3, as y is to 2. 14 is equal to the square root of 3 times y, and then we're going to divide by the square root of 3, and we're going to get that y is equal to 14 divided by the square root of 3. That's a good answer, but I've been asking you to try to rationalize the denominator. That is, we multiply by a smart 1 that looks like the denominator, just so we don't have any square roots in the denominator. So we'll write y equal to 14 square roots of 3. Square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is just 3. So there's your solution. This answer right here is okay. This one's better. Okay? We need to find x still. So 7 is to the square root of 3 as x is to 1. 7 is equal to the square root of 3 times x, which makes x equal to 7 divided by the square root of 3. And once again, I'm going to multiply by a smart 1 in the form of the denominator so that I have no radicals in the denominator, and then I have 7 square roots of 3 over 3. And there's your answer. All right, this would be acceptable, but this answer is better. Okay, simplifying of square roots. So, 30, 60, 90 triangles. Remember that the hypotenuse is always twice the leg of the short leg, and the long leg is square root of 3 times the short leg. Good luck. I love you.